He has also received awards from prime ministers from 3 different countries, I believe, around Jyotisha. So I'd like to welcome him. I would like to now welcome Sri Venkat Sastri Garu, the priest of this temple, the primary priest. Most of you probably know him already. He does not need any introduction. He is also a Vedic laureate. He is the founder of Veda, the organization that runs this temple. So before we start, I'd like to spend a few minutes and kind of talk a little bit about who we are and what we are doing, as well as give a brief introduction about our inspiration, our Guruji, Dr. Veda Vyas. Our organization is called Yoga Brotherhood of America. So Yoga Brotherhood of America has been established as a non-profit organization. We have been doing activities for over 8 years in Bay Area, and we have formally incorporated as an organization last year. The idea of Yoga Brotherhood of America was first introduced by our Guruji, Dr. Veda Vyas, when he visited US in early 1980s. He was here as part of an invitee to the United Nations Parliament of Religions. He spoke exactly 100 years after Swami Vivekananda spoke in Parliament of Religion. So he basically gave a brief outline as to what such an organization should do. So there were like 3 primary goals that he outlined, and we tried to form this organization based on those outlines. The first and foremost was that he wanted to establish a system, an educational system to scientifically or in a very modern way talk about Hinduism. In many instances, he said that Hinduism is not really a religion in the purview of the typical characters of a religion. He described Hinduism as a scientific system of life. And as many of you might know, the better word is probably Sanatana Dharma than Hinduism. So he wanted to not only say that, but he also wanted to establish he wanted to establish kind of educational institute which would take that principle and try to share that knowledge, try to educate people in that knowledge using different means. The second big goal that he outlined was to create an abundance or publish a bunch of literature which would outline all our scriptures, all the knowledge that our rishis have given to us in a very simple way that each of us here can understand, including the children. The third aspect that he highlighted was to create something which would help our younger generation not to fall into the vicious negativity and the poisonous things that are around. So he wanted to create a mechanism, an environment where kids can be introduced to all our Vedic literature in a very simple way, as well kind of get an opportunity to understand what our rishis have given to us. So these were the 3 primary goals that he outlined way back. And many years later, when few of us who have been inspired by Guruji have come to this country, we started taking up some of those activities one at a time. So the first one that we have taken up was Satsang. As many of you have participated just before this program, that's pretty much what we do, what we have been doing almost every week after week from past 8 years. We do this every Sunday at 6 p.m. Today, because of the program, we had to shift it to 5 p.m. So Satsang, the way he described, is basically a spiritual link between us and God. It's a psychic connection between our minds and the universal mind. through a ladder or through a bridge called Guru. So for many of us who are so engrossed in the worldly matters, who are so stressed with all the different activities that we perform, Satsang also provides a way for us to charge ourselves, kind of recharge our own body with the divine energy. So that's what we have been experiencing from last 8 years here in Bay Area. And this similar activity has been conducted or is going on in India as well from almost 40 years. We have close to 100 centers where a similar activity happens, continues to happen. The second activity that we have taken up recently is to promote the Vedic sciences through a program called Jnana Vahini. So we have been conducting short courses. They are usually 5 to 6 weeks, like once or twice a week. And the idea is to basically introduce some of the Vedic concepts, simple ones like yoga sadhana, jyotisha, and so on. So just a way for people to understand what it is and so on. And even sometimes a lot of us are probably not are very familiar with the basics of Hinduism. So we kind of take up those courses and convey to the people as to what exactly they are. The third key thing that our Guruji has always prescribed and has been telling us is something about Niswartha Seva. Here I would like to read a few words from one of his speeches which kind of outlines what exactly is Niswartha Seva from his perspective. Niswartha Seva is the Sanskrit term for unselfish service. It is very different from social service. There are many organizations today which do social service for helping humanity. But this Niswartha Seva is for our own benefit. It's not for the benefit of the person or the people for whom the service is being done. If you know this and watch yourself while doing this service, you will see the effect. So what is the effect? The effect and benefit is when you watch yourself while doing this service, your pride does not increase. Normally, what happens when we do social service is that we feel that we are helping a lot of people, and so we feel very important. And therefore, our self-importance becomes bigger and bigger. So instead of working that as a spiritual sadhana, it will become as an obstruction to sadhana. To abolish these obstacles, service has to be done to eliminate the defects in our body and mind, and to make our nervous system a perfect system for higher matters and spiritual bliss. So this is how he outlined what Niswartha Seva is. So all of us here try to follow that concept of Niswartha Seva when we do service. The organization Yoga Brother of America also collaborates with the other organizations that have been set up by Sri Guruji in India. There are two of them. One of them is USCAFI, which is United Social Cultural Education Foundation of India. It has been running from the past 40 years in India. We have published close to 100 to 120 books through that organization. And the other organization is Vedavyasa Bharati Trust, that is also running from past 50 years in India. So we constantly collaborate with those organizations, and we try to take things from here to there as well as bring things from there to here. That's our idea, basically. We have, all these organizations together have recently started an initiative which was our Guruji's dream, which is International Institute of Vedic Sciences. So the idea is to establish an institute or establish an organization that can in a very formal way impart Vedic knowledge as through an university system, through an education system, and so on. So this is basically about Yoga Brotherhood of America. I would briefly describe my own personal experiences with Guruji, Sri Vedavyas, and then I'll hand off the mic to the dignitaries here. I got introduced to the Guruji during my engineering days when I was staying in Bangalore. we were a batch of 4 people who were working at Saptarishi temple that the Guruji has built in Bangalore. And without knowingly, we started getting attracted to him, and then slowly started becoming his disciple and devotees eventually. Guruji is very much like any, or Vedavyasa is very much like any other guru that you would see who would help you in spiritual matters, who will try to give you a mantra, give you an advice, and try to give you instant relief in your worldly matters. But he's also very much unlike a lot of gurus that are out there. His initiation techniques are very, very unique. He would probably see you and you would be kind of converted for the life, something like that. He would like Sai Baba used to do, he would ask you to sit somewhere or stand somewhere for a while, and while he's doing something else, he would have changed the inner thoughts in you, the inner nature of you, in such a sublime way that it will stick with you forever. The smile he gives is probably like one of the most mesmerizing, or the natural smile. It's probably like what Bhagavatam describes for Lord Sri Krishna. Like once he smiles, I think all of us get completely attracted to him. There was one interesting incident which happened. So a lot of times what happens is he used to tell us a lot of things, he used to teach us a lot of these subjects and so on. And many a times he used to talk about few things which would not make sense at that point in time. So a lot of times those things would start making sense at some later date. And sometimes some of them kind of make sense even a decade later, like now. We suddenly keep thinking about something and suddenly we remember, oh, this is what Guruji meant at that point in time. So one such interesting incident happened with my friend, a dear friend of mine. One fine morning in August 2007, early August 2007, Guruji asked him to come over because there was some work to be done. And as part of that, he gave him like a book, a white book, a book which had a bunch of dates in it. Most of them are like significant dates in Guruji's life. And towards the end, he wrote a date which was like 2nd October 2007. And he put 2 lines under it, as if he was trying to close an account or something was closed. And very surprisingly, 2 months later, he left his body on 3rd October 2007. So it was basically, he had he had the capability to leave the life at his will. Very much like Swami Vivekananda or Sri Vallabhacharya or even Sri Bhishma from Mahabharata. Probably many of you know Vivekananda used circled a date in his calendar in his room which indicated when he was going to leave. Many of his disciples did not believe him, but that's what happened. So all these are like very interesting experiences that all of us had with Guruji. So I would like to thank him, and it's probably not any merit in me, it's just the grace from him that we got this opportunity, or I got this opportunity to serve him as well as the organizations that have been set up by him. And at this young age, I got this opportunity to be the president of Yoga Brothers of America. And I would pray to him that he continues to give us strength to tackle this responsibility and to do more of the things that he has shared with us. So with this, I would like to give the mic to our dignitaries here. So what we'll be doing is as the second. The intention here is basically to introduce one of our recent publications, which is Vedic Sciences in Mahabharata. This is the second book in the series of Vedic Sciences. The first one was written by Sri Guruji, which is titled Vedic Sciences, What Are They? The books are available out there in case if you are interested, look at it. The Vedic Sciences, What Are They? I would definitely recommend to at least look at the book, if not take it home. It has a lot of interesting things that we would not have thought about or would not have guessed about, like the atomic theory, a lot of different sciences that we see out here, which we thought have come up only a few 100 years back, have actually been discovered or have been in practice for quite a bit of time. I would like to first invite Madhuji to talk about his experiences with Sri Guruji as well as the Vedic sciences.
Sri Guru Pranam. What else can be a better place than this place, this evening? This wonderful place, Veda Institute, Veda, the very organization. The temple of truth, Narayana temple. The everlasting consciousness that says, Eko Vishnu Mahatbhutam Pradakbhutam Ekasara Teen Lokan Vyapta Bhutatma Bhuti Svagavya. In this beautiful place, we are talking about Vedic sciences, and in the presence of masters who have learned, mastered this beautiful science, and great people who have explored, researched this wonderful science. I am humbled by the presence of all of you who have lived in America at the same time, retaining the inner consciousness. I remember my Guruji saying, there are two kinds of people. First of all, we are all NRIs. When I became an NRI, I asked my Guruji, now I am an NRI, also American citizen. He said, don't worry, non-resident Indian is always better than resident non-Indian. If you are in India and you do not remember you are an Indian, how to be a true Indian is something we are learning. I am learning. Every time I see a map, you see the map in there, Vedic sciences in Mahabharata. I remember that India projecting into the universe everywhere, an India without boundaries. Hindu Sindhu Vandu Chindu Bindu Koti Andaram Mananiya Vasudha Kanna Bandhu Koti Andaram Hindu Sindhu Vandu Chindu Bindu Koti Andaram. How to describe? We are all droplets in the ocean of Hinduism. Whether you are a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, doesn't matter, you are still a Hindu. Because the beauty of Hinduism is, it is like superset of religions. You cannot stay away from it. If you look at Hinduism, there are interesting perspectives. You see a person, totally shaved head, nothing, sitting with just a cowpea and one piece of cloth in a corner. Avadhuta, Balo Unmatta Pisachavat. He could be a Mahaguru. You see a person with saffron robes, fully dressed, putting Vibhudirekas and doing Bhagavatyanam. He is a Mahatma. He is a great scholar. We worship them in Hinduism. You sit under a tree and pray God. Shirdi Sai Baba. You are Mahatma. You go to temple every day and worship God with utmost reverence. He is a Mahatma. We accept extremities in greatest respect. Let me delve deep into the consciousness of this. How beautiful this religion is, how beautiful this has been done. Some of these books that we are going to inaugurate today, they are touching the points that are immensely valuable to life. They are not just touching on the surface of it, some of them are really deep sea diving. There are different kind of books. Some spiritual books, it's like sitting in front of an ocean. It's a motion and commotion like a human relation, here making and there breaking. They just come, touch you and go back like a wave. Oh, what a beautiful book I read. Certain books you read one time, it's in your mind forever. Like Autobiography of a Yogi. You read that book, you experience the cosmic consciousness with great beauty. In this book, some of these topics they have touched are of immense importance. I want to just talk about what are Vedic sciences. If you see this book, what are they? Why Vedic events are to be called? Vid is knowledge, any form of knowledge. Nahi jnanena sadrisam pavitrameha vidyate. Knowledge is so sacred and so amazing. But why they are called sciences? I wanted to know the answer. I wanted to understand how these are sciences and what are the ways of understanding them. When you say it is science, science has to have a principle, repeatability, and accuracy. This is what science is. Everybody, you leave an apple from the tree, it has to fall on the ground. And exactly with g, 9.8 meters per second square. Newton's laws of motion, every body continues to be in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it's compelled by an external force. Exactly same thing. 1 minus cos theta by sin theta equal to sin theta by 1 plus cos theta, because sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos square theta, fixed. Minus b plus r minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2. All these things are scientific principles. But these Vedic sciences are not operating like that. It is so abstract. I want a digital world. I believe in precision. I believe in utmost precision of 5.378947230. Can I get that accuracy in these sciences? For a few minutes, forget we are here. For a few minutes, forget I am talking. From now, disclaimer is what I am going to talk for a few minutes. Let me take you into a flight of Vedic sciences. Forget that anything I claim out of my ignorance. Again, we are talking about science. This object is black because in Vibgyor it absorbed all the colors except black, so this object is black. Probably it is not, it absorbed all the colors, it's black. It is red because it absorbed all the colors in Vibgyor except red, so it's showing up red. We are talking these things because we didn't understand them. I am talking these things because I didn't understand them yet. So, scientifically speaking, I am also trying to understand. So, I want to walk you through, in less than 10 minutes, I have very little time, about 10-15 minutes. Within the 10 minutes, I want to walk you through a glimpse of Vedic sciences and see if you can come with me and see how these are sciences. These are the 12 signs of zodiac, and each of them are ruled by Mars, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter. So this is the ownership of them. Then we have 27 stars. Then we have Ravichandra, Kujarahu, Gurujani, Buddha, Ketu, Sukras, the planets. Then we have an ascendant. So there are 12 houses and 10 elements. 12 see 10, you can put a permutations and combinations, factorial 12, you can calculate how many, in the equation, factorial r minus b, whatever it is, you calculate, you can see so many millions of combinations are possible. And Guruji talks about astrology. Do you know how I met him? It's an interesting event. First I should start with that. In my town, Rajahmundry is a beautiful place. So the editor of a magazine said that Vedavyasaji is here, should meet him. I said, from childhood I have been listening about him, wow, I want to meet him. Because first of all, he wrote about Bhavishya Purana. Somavareti Monday Shashtim 60 Vadanti. He wrote about that. Sir, what? Oh, in Bhavishya Purana they already told in Shambhala, Kalki Bhagavan is going to come. So, and in future people are going to say Somavareti Monday. Somvar will be called as Monday. Shashtim 60 Vadanti. Shashtim will be known as 60. Already they wrote there. He wrote in his books and he did utmost research. And one of the most final things was he had a unique combination of being in civil services, the ability to see the administrative aspects of a government, and also the governing principles of the cosmos. So this is our government. Oh, government is just not just managing people there. Hey, 10 lakh people there and you're managing it. That's not what it is about. It's about understanding the system. If you see software industry, every day you see software. But how much does it help? It helps me to understand God a better way. How can you reach God? I'll ask him, how can you access internet? You can access internet from home, on a desktop. You can have a wireless on your laptop, and even on your iPhone you can reach internet. You can reach God. Close your eyes in a bus or in a train. Don't close your eyes when you're driving. So wherever you are, you can access God. That's what is Vishnu Sahasranam is saying. Eko Vishnu Bhatkutam. If the red slave thing is slays, or if the slave thing is slain, they know not well the subtle ways. I keep and pass and turn again. I the him, the pine. sacred seven, but thou be clever of good and turn thy back on heaven. R.W. Emerson is saying that's what exactly the principle. There's one and only one cosmic consciousness. That cosmic consciousness, how ecstatic it should be. Can I capture it into an equation? S is equal to ut plus half kt square. Put it there and get that outcome. Can we write equations like that? The ability to see these equations is the ability to see those slokas. He looked at them as formulae. To him, these are principles. These are not just management principles. These are principles of scientific value. They were very well explored in those. So we went to see Vedavyasaji. I was very excited. We were waiting outside. Then Guruji came. My friend introduced this Madhu Baba. And then he's an astrologer. Wonderful. He was excited because he's an astrologer. He's a palmist. And then I was a kid, just a young astrologer, bacha hoga. So like that, it kind of feels good if you see somebody. So, what do you do? So he asked me, and immediately see, in life you don't get many chances. The moment, unless you strike at the right time, you can make an impact. Especially when you're going to gurus, they have treasure of knowledge. And to get their secrets, the first attempt is the best attempt. You have to really be very, very good at that. So I always know the little bit of trick of doing that. Close my eyes and immediately, you are praying Lord Venkateshwara and your birth star should be Shravana. So reverse engineering is my favorite subject. Immediately, he smiled and said, yeah, mine is Shravana Nakshatra. He understood, and inside, while I was waiting, he was praying Venkateshwara, he was doing some puja, doors were closed, we didn't know, nobody knows exactly what date he was praying. But I developed a system called LMR, using which you can intercept into the upasana states of the human beings. So how to do that? Because there is one fabric of the cosmos. If there is one fabric of the cosmos, one operating system, you can start understanding it. If you look at computer science, you see everything, end of the day, turns around into all the GUI you see, all the browsers you see, all the applications you see, and everything you see on all these machines will go back into the back end, into the abstract levels of zeros and ones and one and one and one and zero. One is I am there, one God. Zero, I am not there. Me there, me not there. Me everything, me so many, 1 1 0 0 0 1 binary system. This whole universe is made of so many components of me and so many components of not me. And me, not me, not me, me, no me. Combined together is this universe. How this universe is created? How many millions of times you have to be surprised? How the hell can small molecules that consist of the atom, that consists of the small particles, electrons, protons, that consists of the quarks and pi bosons and all these things go there and to formulate such molecules that can look at themselves and comment, dress up, buy saris and even complain about saris and not be happy about saris and ask us to buy more saris. How these molecules are formed? It's an enigma. I look at my wife, it's an enigma. Every day I'm surprised how creation can create. So like that, everything is majestically, so anonymously. Maya, Hrim Kala Sanakapita Narsikam, so Kling Kalam, Vipratim, Savarnam, Badharim, Marasadarutam, Trinetro Jvalam, Vande, Pustakapasa, Mankusdaram. From there to how these 108 elements are there in the periodic table. 108 corners and Shaktis are in the Sri Chakra. How these constituent elements are creating this universe. Namaste Prasundar, Hridaya Devi, Siro Devi, Sika Devi, Kavacha Devi, Netra Devi, Asta Devi, Kameswari, Bhagamana, Nichikline, Veru Devi, Pahini Vasini, Mahavajreswar, Shivutu, Tvara Kulasundar Nitya, Nilapatake Vijay, Sarvamangala, Jwala Marani. All these operating principles are not just gods, they are the very constituent elements of the spiritual periodic table of the cosmos. They are determining your behaviors. Ananga Madane, Ananga Madanature, they start acting, hey, I better get married. It's activating the principle. Jwala Malini, my wife got angry. That is Jwala Malini. I can see. So, Sarva Chakra, Sri Chakra Swami Nyai Namaha. So, very omnipresent consciousness. Amma, you are the one who created this universe. Vishnu is sitting there and wondering where this creation came from. Kalvidam evaham, kalvaidam evaham. I am the one who created. In 5 more minutes, I am going to complete 5 to 7 minutes. So, what I wanted to conclude was, it was a wonderful experience. I had opportunity to talk to him. And he asked, what is your specialization in astrology? And I told him, I specialize in Prashna Shastra. Prashna Shastra, I have a specific faculty and system of Prashna Shastra that I follow. I combine, and first there is astrology. based on the date and time of birth of a person. Most of the times, it is actually the dates and times are not accurate.